Well, shots fired. It does mean we are back live. Let's drop the fill out there, and we can see we are back in. They would go move across, and with a bit of luck, Rich, with a bit of luck, you're on the same volume as me now, so it doesn't sound like I'm yelling at you. That's if you're even there. There we go.
I'll leave it down now.
Yeah. Hopefully, I've boosted your volume massively. I've lowered my volume. It doesn't sound like I'm just yelling at you. Hopefully, with a bit of luck. But we're moving into, I believe, Group 2 now. Which, if you look at the top seeds, it is Echo Pulse at the top.
Yeah, we'll see how this one goes down because we've seen some pretty wild stuff so far. And each time we've seen the highest seed obviously claiming victory and taking the W at the end of each game. So we'll see if it kind of pans out in the same with this one, or if we'll see a little bit of a more wilder game with teams just kind of been a bit more daring. We've yet to kind of see that yet. Obviously we kind of expect it as we go through the rounds, and when we start seeing teams kind of the bigger names matching up against each other, you know, like Kingwin, like AAA, like everyone, like G2, and there are so many squads that have the possibility of qualifying here this weekend. Like it's cutthroat, man. But there's only 4 spots for EU, 4 spots for an A. It's very, very cutthroat, and it's going to be very, very close.
Well, we'll see how it goes out. Here we go. There is the plane. Let's have a pan out, see exactly where it's going to be flying over. It is okay over to. It's going straight over Lipovka's side, so it's going to be a decent spread. It looks like it's going right across the middle of the map. Yep. So pretty much pick where you want to go. Come on, Rich. I'm going to put you on the spot. Where would you go from this point?
So at this point, for a lot of, I mean, me personally, I just always, regardless, drop Pachinki because I'm that kind of scrub lord that always does that. But for a few of these teams, you'll have the odd one or two, potentially may
I'm gonna say server remake or what? I'm seeing so many players that are single player.
You'd expect a couple of them doing it, but a lot of them will be going for the car spawns. If they're going to play this one right, you want to get away again because the north of that map's going to be very, very full. There's going to be a lot of players there, so if you want to kind of play it right, you should be looking for a car now, looking for a car spawn, and getting the hell out of there, moving away from the north, going somewhere down south, looking at Promos, looking at Ferryport, Milta, and even onto Millibase and Novo, somewhere around that kind of area. So it's going to be interesting to see how it all kind of goes down and where people end up landing. We'll see if any of the squads do decide to grab themselves a car and move down south. That's again probably what you'd see a lot of the bigger squads doing, the more higher tier. We've already got shots going down in Roz. I'm seeing bullets coming across at one person. It's going to be Carl, who's trying to run away in his little car. He's got the Dacia, hasn't taken any damage as of yet, but that was a very quick push off there. I believe it was Trooper on the opposing side, already firing shots off. You got a guy in a Tommy gun, so early engagement's going down in Roshawk. We've got one team at school who's going to take the apartments as well. One player's actually going to fall with the punch.
so what they've done is they've basically hoovered up all the vehicles around school, haven't they? They've dropped in school. They obviously knew they were the only guys in school, and they've just hoovered up the vehicle, the Dacia from Rozhok, and the one from the complex over to the right of Rozhok. So they've got the apartments and that, but they're only, from what I can tell, a three-man squad. Oh no, they're fourth, Italiano. Of course, so this is Echo. This is Echo Pulse, isn't it? So they've basically got a great control already. Those two guys in Rozhok, there's 2 squads there. They're going to fight each other, so they're just going to have themselves a lot of free loot, and of course the circle has gone their way.
So the one thing we have to kind of make a note on here is where the plane actually came in from. It came directly in from the east and it moved straight pretty much across Yasnaya. Now that circle has landed bang square center of where the plane has come across. You'll see 2 teams, they are going to push Sosnovka Island. Whether or not they decide to drive into Millibase is a different question. You'll definitely see some of them moving over to Novo. I would suggest this one team that's crossing the bridge now would go to Novo. They're actually crashing into each other. In fact, it is. So that's a multiple rosters crossing the bridge now, Lee, because there's multiple people in that car. Yeah, there is. There's 2 rosters moving side by side here.
Beckerman spotted them coming behind, so he just had a look. Sniper was coming in behind them. I think they're just is he going to follow them on the bike? Is he just going to figure out where they're going? They're obviously off to Sosnovka, so they're going to go straight to the military base, and these guys off towards Novo way. So they've separated. They looked at each other and thought, okay, neither of us got loot. I'm looking at the guys in the UAZ. I don't think any of them are going to have a gun. I think they've got a single gun between them.
Yeah, they're just going to burn it down. pick up Millie. And of course, that's the thing about Millie. You're either going in and coming out heavily geared, or you're not coming out at all. You're going to be coming out dead. It's as simple as that. It's not the most ideal circle for this run, but certainly it's early game. It's very easy. Get in there, get geared up, and provided you give yourself enough time, you've got the vehicles. Just get the hell out. It all depends on what the Milter team wants to do, and the people at Milter Power. Will they decide to kind of come back and camp out the God tier buildings just on the edge of Milter? You can definitely watch the road. There's the roadblock there. So it all depends where they decide to kind of set up camp and set up shop. Left-hand bridge coming out of Millie Base, that's going to be clear if anyone does want to bail, but when you're entering back into the circle, you're going to have to come across Pachinki, and there's going to be a team in there also. Quite a lot still going on at Rosshawk. More shots firing. I'm seeing, it looks like Pizdek once again taking a couple of dinks and a couple of bullets are coming back and forth. We've got one person up on top. And I believe this is going to be Pink, who's also firing back. So I'll keep an eye on Rosshawk for a second, see how this one goes down.
Yeah, I've got the camera on there at the moment. So Pizdek's got himself in a situation where he can fire. He's only got a red dot, though, on his M16. Santi about to peek out that window or the door. Doesn't realise that he's got someone in a house nearby. Obviously, he probably heard the footsteps, which is why he's going prone. Actually, Nestle just popped.
Yeah. One taps him in the head. That's what happens when you start poking without a helmet. You get an AKM bullet. It's going to knock you out, my friend. All four of those players have ARs. Every single one of them is rocking an M16. All depends what attachments they've got on, whether they've got compensators, silencers, a red dot 4 times, anything like that. Teammate's going to easily pick him up because he had someone else already hiding inside that building with him. Pistek, though, does have the S68 in the back pocket should anybody want to challenge on the building. Pig's going to make a run for it. Does he have a helmet? Yes, he does, so at least be able to survive one bullet should it come his way. Move straight across, get the high ground within Rosshawk. But again, he's getting dinked. Gets copped in the back. Looks like it's going to be hitting him in the leg, that bullet there. So they know exactly where he is. Whether or not that draws the fire across from the other people that are on the opposing compound waiting on him is a different one. It's going to be a slow-paced game when we're looking at Ros, because the gear, I think they're just a bit too passively. They're all just kind of worrying and feeling each other out. Pig definitely got the, I'd say, the better idea of move across the road, so he's now got time to loot, because both of these squads have sat still. They've got their initial guns that they got when they landed, and nothing else since.
Yeah, and he's got himself a decent SKS with a good scope, and he's actually in a really good position to have a peek around, which is exactly what he's doing, but he is taking shots. It is the danger of being up here. You are fairly exposed. But if he does manage to find himself an angle or a shot, he may well get himself the first knock, or I should say the second knock, because they've already knocked one, but Nestle, didn't they?
So he's got an 8 times on that thing as well, and it looks like he does have attachments. Seeing an angled on that. Sorry, vertical. Vertical grip on that. Is that, does he have a cheek pad? I'm trying to get a quick look on it. Doesn't look like it. Definitely, with the update on the SKS, allowing it to have attachments like the angled, like the vertical, for instance, it's made the gun more viable. It used to be a bit of a questionable choice, I want to say.
So Miku got knocked. So they're continuing their passive play, as you say, but he's the only one that's passed over the road right now, so he's going to get himself a free loot over there. As was it that the Dacia they stole? No, there's nothing in the garage, so I feel that might be the Dacia they stole. Yuaz on the road if they need to go anywhere. Miku needs to get up. It's a slow bleed, so he's alright. Pizdek has himself a decent position, but like you say, that loot's not great for these guys. Obviously, we're seeing micro Uzis. We're not seeing a great deal of ARs. There is, I think it's Aros that's taking the shots, isn't it, with the AK on that hill. I can hear the pop. The telltale pop of an AKM. And there we go. There's the SKS. Boom. Dead. Finally got himself in a position. Typical. I was watching him the whole time. The second I move away, he lands the shots.
This is the whole point of sitting back and not really advancing and kind of... It's not camping as such because they're not waiting for the opposing team, but it's certainly been stale and standing ground. And in doing so, Pig's just rotated. As you say, gets the initial kill. And here comes the collapse. 2 players pushing in. AKM once again doing work. And the more times that these players get knocked, the faster that they're going to be bleeding out. So every single time that one of them goes down, it's going to be harder to pick them up. It's going to apply more pressure onto them. Pizdek's going to get a couple of shots off on Anti. so he needs to push back for a second. But again, he does have the AKM, and he did get that initial headshot across the map, so gotta pay attention to him. Doesn't look like it looks like, I think it's Ager, I want to say, doesn't have any meds because he's not healing up. He also doesn't have a helmet. Sure, not the best of times so far for this gentleman hiding in the level 2.
All right, let's have a spin around while these guys are still going. I don't want to watch them the entire time. There is a squad moving in. So while that's all actually been happening, the Echo guys have literally hoovered up through school and moved on. They've moved on themselves. So they've got themselves in the complex off to the right. They're pretty much as close to central as you can get in complexes. There's a squad moving in, 3 vehicles going straight over, actually towards them. I'll keep my eye on their path. I think they should pass on by. Looks like, okay, they're actually starting to collapse on them. Let's get back over to Pizdek. Looks like they are starting to finally feel their feet out here. Nestle taking shots at Pig Gut, but not really landing anything.
It's going to be so slow. It's just going to be super passive. I'm just going to keep an eye on the kill feed there to see exactly which one of those players will fall, but we'll talk more about the bigger picture. So we got one team down in Prim. They've got to get a move on because now the Blues coming in and they're going to start getting hit quite hard, especially if they stay in Prim and the circle lands on the next circle, because the further, again, you are away from that circle, the more damage you will take. The guys over at Millie Base, they've moved through the entirety of Millie Base. They've actually moved to the yellow houses on the, on the west side of Millie. So I would say that they've completely looted that. So in theory, they should be heavily geared. Same goes for the guys down in Novo. Same goes for the guys up in Georgia, Paul. A couple of, might have been a little bit of a fight going on at George. I don't exactly know how things went down. But down at Prim, we're now seeing the vehicles coming in. Still fights going on over at Roz, and it's a slow battle. It's a slow bleed over there, but we'll just let them be. Severny may get lucky as they come down past the shooting range and make their way into the center of the circle. They might actually be able to pick up the care package that is dropping. But finally, the guy we mentioned earlier on, the Gurk, who didn't have a helmet, once again he will fall, and that's the second time by the AKM.
Yeah, he's down this time. Aros is moving in to finish the job. Finally going to get rid of someone here. Ooh, Nestle's moving in. Oh, he gave his position away. He should be able to finish it off, though. It doesn't matter. So that's going to be 2 down in that building. Aros will go up and finish the job on the roof there. Single shot to the bullets, which means 1 man standing, and there he goes. Pizdek drops, and they finally win the Battle of Rozhok. And it was the team that were flanking, it was the team that were moving, not the one that was static, and that's really how you got to play, Rich.
Usually I question whether it was worth it, but when you look at the position of the circle, there was no real reason to force an engagement anywhere else or work your way out. You might as well stand your ground, get the kills, and then hopefully get the loot that's around you, because anywhere else you're going to be moving, it's not going to be too different. They're like 100 meters away from the center of the circle, so they can carry on looting Roz now. They can potentially move across to the little estates that are around them. Maybe, if they really wanted to, they can move to school and apartments, because they've been untouched, and they'll know this. They need to be obviously aware in the back of your mind where that initial plane did come in. Came across on the east coast and straight through the middle, so they're going to know people are going to be in Yasnaya. And look at that. Once again, smack bang dead center. It's staying around the central area, and they can once again continue to loot Rozhok.
It was actually the squad that just came over the bridge just got annihilated. There was a nice little camp set up. We talked about this the last 2 games, actually. Do you risk going over that bridge? The Milton crew was set up, was ready and waiting, so they've got themselves a kill there. I think Sniper, is he the last man in the squad? Went over in the vehicle. No, he's still got 2 teammates. They obviously went different routes. I'm just trying to see where his teammates actually are. Oh, they haven't come over the bridge yet. So they are making the run now. Are they going to go water? I think they're going to go water instead, yeah.
It's exactly what I said. If you're at Milta, you look at the position of the circle, you know that a team's over at Nova. So you can just sit and set up. You've got those god tier buildings just on the side of the road. You can set up a firing line. You can let the players come to you. They did that. It looks like, I believe, they took 1 scout. Sniper got away, and his other 2 teammates are backing off. They've assessed the situation, though, Lee. I'm looking at them now. Do they think it's too risky to get a boat? Are they going to go back on the bridge, or are they going to go further afield? They need to be aware where all this is going down, their health's ticking away. So if they got boosts, then happy days. You can heal away for days. Meanwhile, as we look at the other bridge, we've got two vehicles perpendicular. That's two teams side by side. Is any of them actually going to... Oh, we actually just seen a vehicle get blown up there.
I think that was the bridge, the other bridge. Mister, I'm pretty sure it was over there, Mister. But like you say, these two going alongside each other. The US over the high ground. Are they going to take shots? Are they just going to have a bit of a pact as they come in? Let's see where they're heading towards. They're heading towards Enigma Cypher. And yeah, I think they're just like respectfully avoiding each other is how that's playing out there.
Yeah, I'm looking at where that vehicle did. It's just in one of the little compounds. Just to the west of Yasnaya. We did see UAS just go full force, but unfortunately they got pincered. They kind of set up a... In fact, they're actually getting pushed aggressively. There's two players still living. They're going for the kill. They're going in. They smell blood. One goes down. Second player's round the corner. UMP versus M4. He says, see you later. Mister comes in, and that's the entire squad wipe.
Yeah, and that's Echo Plus, living up to the hype, as it were. Effectively, the #1 seed coming in. Mister getting himself, what, 4 kills there? Yeah, all 4 kills. So total squad wipe for Mister there. So very nicely worked. So they've been in that complex for a large amount of time, actually. I remember they all started around school. Italiano kind of went off on his own, a little towards the north, towards the Yasnaya area, just cleaning out the complexes. And they've got this position, and they are still bang in the center of the circle. So it's not too bad for them right now. Looking at Sniper's team, they did come across, so Vizek and Mr. Rex, they've come across the bridge. The Milta squad team that was setting up the camp, they're making their way up towards farm and making their way through. Crate drop actually over just off to the east of Pachinki. I don't think anyone's going to go to it though.
Got a K98 inside in a level 3 helmet, so no scopes, so not the best of drops. Again, level 3 helmet, no matter what you can do, even if a helmet's pretty much damaged and on its way out, you always want to try and get the next level up, whether it's level 1, 2, or 3, you always step up. So good bit of kit in there. K98 with no scope. Depends what you've got in the back pocket. Again, it's a sniper rifle. Pretty hard to use with the amount of people that jiggle peek, you know, in these higher games. It's not the easiest weapon to use, but again, if you know how to use it and you're a good sniper, it's a damn good weapon. 7.62, it always does the damage. But over at Mansion, we got a bloodbath going on. 2 squads going head to head here. I'm trying to get on board with them. Snooken's actually going to fall. Several players, and they're all stacked up. We got 1 player in the garage being the anchor point. The rest of them just inside the villa. They're out in the open. They just kind of held back. The Dacia turned up. It got completely lit up. 1 player got knocked out. 1, 2, 3's down. Last player's trying to get his teammate up, but unfortunately, K98 scopes in between the eyes. All 4 players are dead. That's a squad wipe.
Yeah, and that was Wanted doing the damage. He just had the angle. He just had the perfect angle. Got himself 3 kills out of that. Nick's getting the other. So the Mansion battle all over. Let's see. They will have had decent loot there. I'm just having a look. Vizek is actually rejoining. Oh, no. He's trying to join his team. So Sniper, the man that came over the bridge on his own, it looks like he's now pinned. Look at the squad. I'll put... This house has so many names. Mushroom House, Wizard's Tower, Harry Potter, you name it. But there is a full squad there, and they know that Sniper's in there on his own. Now, is his squad going to be able to get into position? Vizek has himself a Kar98 with a scope. It's a 4 times, I think, by the looks of it. So let's see if he's going to be able to get an angle on the shot.
We are keeping an eye on that. I'm going to look at another battle that's going on over at one of the little compounds.
Oh, it's just a 2 times scope. That's not good. Yeah, he's not going to be able to get the angle. Sniper's just going to vehicle. He's getting the hell out of there. So cover fire and evac. So they've actually regrained their team together. It's Hamster. Where's Hamster?
Hamster's over here on his own. I'm looking in one of the little compounds just to the west. He's actually upstairs. He has knocked out 1. He's got his teammate Timber with him. They've claimed another scalp. Timber's going to fall, though, as he steps out the doorway. They're going to get melted down. The AKM. And that's going to be BP ACR. He just wipes them out. That's all 3 members who will fall. They did try and save the US. They parked inside this compound. I don't really know why they went downstairs, Lee. They had the high ground. They were chilling, but they forced the engagement, unfortunately. And as they stepped outside that door, the AKM, well, the 7.62 doing work. Sniper once again taking a lot of bullets, but he's getting the hell out of there. Just Dukes of Hazzard right now on the bike, just trying to run. He's got to be aware of these apartments in case no one's inside, but thankfully for him, we can see he can. This is a completely dead complex. He can just chill here for a little bit, and The other question is, have these actually been looted? I haven't seen anyone around this area.
No, they did. It was actually, they're coming in now. It was Echo. Echo Pulse went in there at the start, and they should have hoovered up, and now you can see them coming back. Here comes Mister with the Dacia. He's going to go straight up to them. Is he going to be able to stop? No, he's just going to wedge him in the corner. Oh, you've got nowhere to go. No way out of that. Mister just pinces him completely.
Literally pinned in, and then comes in for the execution. Another player comes up behind. I've never seen anyone get pinned in by a Dacia before, but it worked. Tried to make use of the bush, but when you've been spotted like that, and now Sniper is in a 1 versus 4. Is he going to go to the roof and try and juke
There's a second
them?
squad. There's a second squad moved into the northern area. Yeah, and they're taking shots at Shibas. Sniper. Okay, so he's going to. What he's going to do is drop over the rift. Yeah. Okay, so he's going to.
I like it.
It's the best camp he can do. It's the best he can do. He's on his own now, isn't he?
Yeah, without running away. Needs to be careful that he doesn't turn around because his foot may go through the wall. They may see where he is. And he's just laying here. We'll see if it does, unfortunately, cut through the wall. No, he's going to get away with it because he's got a crate behind there. Level 1 vest, level 2 helmet. Not the best vest in the world, but he does have a scar. We've got the extended on there. We've got a red dot. And we've got a vertical. He can hear all this going down. He's just going to bide his time. He'll hear all these bullets going off, so he knows there's another fight going on around him. Headshot comes in, Car 98. Mamu finds one. That's going to be another knock for another team fair way across the map. But they have an idea that he's Haley, and it depends whether he stands his ground and hides.
They're going room to room, aren't they? They're room to room, clearing it out, going through. They know they've looted this building. They know they were the ones that were here. So they know that it's clear. Now they're about to come up. Are they going to go up the next floor? Are they going to try? Are they going to risk it? Maybe they're just thinking, we know he's upstairs. There's no point. We can just leave him there. I don't know how confident they're feeling, because obviously this is the top-ranked team. Are they that confident they can just ignore that guy? Because they know that there's another squad to the north of them. They saw them coming in. They took shots on them. It's risky though, isn't it?
Yeah. So if you look downstairs, they're kind of setting this one up for a breach. So Mister. Underneath the stairs, he's got the peak and he's got the angle, level 3 helmet, and an absolutely geared to the 9s M4 staring straight down the barrel of that door. Anyone walks through and they can kind of kiss themselves goodnight, to be honest. Crispier also standing on top, and again, this is kind of when you start looking at these higher end teams, Lee. He's just standing on top of a bookcase there, again covering another door. So all downstairs, all entrances are covered, so they can get good call outs and work together. Bigger picture though, let's take a look at how things are unfolding. We've got a squad battle as the circle starts pushing them in just to the southwest. 2 teams chasing each other's tails, and again, that's from the initial compound fight we saw earlier on. We've got a car that's going to get stopped on the east side of the circle. They got to be quick though, because again, the circle's going to hit them.
Mamu taking shots.
Yeah, as they drive forward, they have to be aware of this compound that's right in front of them, and also the hill. You've got 4 people on top of the big hill just at the back on the south, and they have the circle control. That's a very nice position there. That is really good circle for them.
Yeah, that's actually really going to make it juicy over by the school as well, because Echo Pulse are just on the edge. They can just move out that building, but obviously they know that there is another squad north of them. Sniper's still sitting there. Here comes Django. So Django's going to go past. Is he going to be able to get a free pass? That's the question. This is a fairly open ground to drive across. We saw obviously this squad getting annihilated earlier. Looks like he might get himself a free pass. Are they already moving out?
Yeah,
they're already moving out, aren't they?
They're going for that hill, Lee. I mean, to be fair, that's where
No, they're moving to the next complex. Okay, sorry, I was looking at Echo Pulse.
Oh, my bad.
They've just moved to the second complex. They're taking shots at the other guys. They've just passed straight through the gap at school, so they've got out alive. Sniper is still there.
It's hard to suggest where these next fights are going to go down, because one team does have the left-hand sniper still in that corner, as you mentioned. They do have the left apartments, so they could, if they really wanted to, sit in the corner. Now the people up on top of the hill, though, they've been spotted. A couple of bullets come through. One player's going to be tagged, and now they're all hiding back in the shacks. They've got a couple of players there. That's 3 of them, but they've got to be careful, because while all this is going down, Lee, if you look below them, just to the right-hand side, that's 1.5 squads that are going to be creeping upside the hill behind them. So it's whether or not their map awareness is saying, okay, we got to watch behind us, because players could be coming in. If they don't, they could get flanked and wiped.
Yeah, Mamu's got that Car 98. He's took shots on them, so they're well aware of the guys behind them. The question is, are they a little too aware of what's behind and not really looking what's in front as they move in towards the blue? They have the, I guess you could say, circle advantage when you're on the smaller side of the circle. You know it's going to move much slower. But there's another squad coming in. There's another squad in a full UAZ about to come straight at them. Let's pan out on them as they're about to come straight in towards AC. And they've actually turned in towards that complex. They've turned in towards the complex.
Turn and face. It's kind of the best thing for it. But if you look at Scythex, he's got eyes on the prize. He's saying, okay, boys, I'm coming back. I don't want to take this one on my own. Just to the right-hand side, though, bullets come through. 1, 2, 3 vehicles are going to be moving past the firing squad. Vehicles are going to be damaged. And I'm just looking at the bullets that are flying. One player will get knocked out in the meantime while all this is going down. Sniper's actually moved across now to the next opposing building. He's moved into the same building as what the team that was chasing him initially was. But that hill comes in. 1, 2, 3. The pins comes in. Squads are going to be going down just on the side of that hill. One player will fall. A second one follows also. Leiko just outside. His teammate dies behind him. He's in the back to the blue. Sari, unfortunately, elimination comes through. He's just going to seal the deal on that one. Excabert, he's in the blue as well. Also needs to move forward. But still standing strong. Kings under the mountain right now. They've got 1, 2, 3 UAZs behind them. They're all just moving across. They're still inside the circle. The UAZs are just outside should they feel the need to go and grab them and run. But one complex left in, excuse me, 2 complexes left inside this final circle. And at the moment, just to the right-hand side below, this is where all the big battles and engagements are going to be going down because there's going to be kind of that battle. Oh, he's dead.
And Mister gets another. Yeah, so, somehow he moved into the same complex as they had again. I didn't know how it worked. Another shots going on. And this is going to be the house. They're finally starting to push in there. Scythex is going to take the shots. He will down Knave. Noisy Boy also going himself another one as well there. And Batlass, what a name. The last man standing. Just trying to push in with his UMP as a valiant charge, but he gets dropped. Suddenly, kills everywhere. The spin across. Oh my god, Enigma. Cypher in the UAZ. I mean, this is so tricky to take a UAZ at this time when it's so compact. That's so dangerous.
Yeah, but look at what they're doing behind. They've span around and shot the next car behind them. Meantime, Lee, they're actually taking shots on the team wipe that we just saw with Cypher and co. The Norwegian, Noisy Boy, also firing shots on them. They're going to lose one of themselves, so trade for trade. One will fall on the opposing team out of the car that drove away. They're going to lose one team member. So it all depends whether or not they can get him back up, which is quite easily, in fact, because he's hid behind the back of the shack. Meantime, finally, the vehicle explosion will come in. That one player who was last remaining. Mister and crew, though, they do have the corner of this complex, but as soon as they move, Lee, they're going to be walking into 3 teams. Hanging back is not going to do them any favors whatsoever. They got 20 seconds before the blue forcing them in.
I'll tell you what, the squad that's making the kills right now is Leho and Asi and Mamu's got this Car 98 who just missed pretty much a sitter shot there, but they're moving in onto this complex. These guys that had the UAZs, Shibas, Django, etc., that were in this little shack area, not a lot of cover. You can shoot through those buildings. It will do damage, and look at them, all 3 of them tucked in there. They see the vehicle there. They are getting the heels up. They're taking so many shots. Leo has managed to knock so many of them, but they will all need to move up. They're all going to get the shots around there. Mamu taken very low, but not getting the kill as he goes prone. AC's going to move in. I want to switch off to AC. Come on, free cam. Let me do it. There we go.
He's going for the flank, Lee. He's going for the flank, but he's only got the M16. It depends whether he sprays any good. It's not good enough. He's going to fall. Goes around the corner. The blue, though, may do some falling damage here on Shibas. It's whether or not he can get this first aid off or not, and he doesn't, unfortunately. He's going to go down. The blue just takes out 3 of them. It wipes the entirety of the squad. Mamu as well. It depends what kind of meds he's got. He's got to run, and he's got to run now. He does get a first aid off at least, but look at his health. It's just chunking away. 2 players are going to fall. Unfortunately, he's got 1 in front of him also. At the moment, he's just going to try and play for points, stay alive as he comes down this. We'll see Flying Pan. He's just waiting in the ambush. His teammates going to get together here. He does have his cover. They're not sure if anyone else is remaining.
So Timo down. Echo Pulse have lost one. Echo Pulse have lost a guy at the moment. So Timo went down. Circle not doing them any favours at the moment. And Scythex, if you look at Scythex, Scythex knows exactly where they are. He's sat with his rock and he's watching their flank coming in. He's got smoke. He's got Norwegian fish with him. These guys, they've already had a pretty big fight themselves. So it's a pretty big kill spread, but they are only a 2-man versus a 3, which is also dangerous. Now, honestly, Echo Pulse are in a really tricky situation. They're taking shots from Azirs as well off the right-hand side, so they've got to push up through fairly open ground. I don't know how they're going to get out of this.
Yeah, even if they just want to make the quickest route, you know, and beeline for the circle, they've got a team who's just the bouncer and the bodyguard system. I mean, in fact, I'm looking, as you mentioned the Norwegian earlier on, Lee, he knows exactly where they are. He's not looking the opposing way. He keeps having a quick jiggle peek to that side. They're going to be in all kinds of trouble, and all of a sudden, it's Azri's who's getting super aggressive. Grenades are going down. He's pushing hard. M16 in the back. Here comes the bullets.
They're fighting each other.
That's bad.
It's a triangle, isn't it? Norwegian Fish who was staring at them. It's actually bought them time. So Mister behind them. They're getting chunked by the blue. Mister's been taken down. Italiano, the only man standing. The rest of his team are knocked. So Echo Pulse in real trouble here. And it looks like they may well go down. But they're fighting each other. Norwegian Fish.
He can run. He can run and stay alive. He makes it into the top 10. This is... Wow, okay. And Azrias, who did come in for that initial push and cause some problems, he's going to fall outside the zone. Also, it depends whether Fnif's seen him or not. Because... Wow, okay.
I mean, look at Piggut. This is the original Rozhok crew, right? There's 4 of them alive. The original Rozhok crew is still in there. Flying Plant has Fnif completely pinned. So Fnif's on his own. Italiano's on his own. Mamu and Flying Plant, who did come in and get themselves a hatful of kills as he was on their team.
Dead. He picked him off across the map, Lee, with a K98. He pinged him. He's dead.
Well, Mamu with that K98. I've been watching him for quite a while. Piggut with his SKS. I'm going to switch over to him because this is the 4-man team now. And Mamu using that crate to cover. Fnif is completely pinned out. Flying Pan, he's down. Just about going to keep himself in it. Fnif basically playing
nowhere really for him. There's nowhere for him to go, though, is there? Because of the spread of this team on the bottom, and they do have this verge. If he moves to the left, he's got one player shooting, and that's going to be Pigger. If he moves to the right, he's got Antia, who's just going to dink again, and now he'll finally fall. Mamu's not going to move. I won't even bother poking your head out. I'd literally just sit there. Did get the crate. Not much in it. K98. He got a level 3 helmet, at least. I say not much in it in terms of weaponry. The level 3 helmet's going to do a lot of good for him. What's he got on his back, though? What kind of gun do we have? We've got an M4, so he can take these battles. Look at Antief, though. He's got the grenade in hand. Pre-grenade goes down. They're actually firing quite a few his way.
Fnif is just sitting this one out. He's just sitting watching. But, I mean, I can't see anyone else but this squad. It's a 4-man squad. Yeah, Mamu, as soon as he peeks around there, takes a couple of shots to the face. Fnif manages to heal himself up. He's knocked one. He's knocked one around the side. He's called his spoiler. Oh, he's been taken down. Mamu, the last man standing against these guys. Gets a shot off, but the blue is against him. He's got to push up. They're in the perfect position, and they will take the round. So it was the guys we followed right at the beginning, Rozhok. They managed to obviously win out. They didn't lose a single man in Rozhok. It was a drawn-out fight. And honestly, it was just down to, I guess, positioning at the end of the day. Everybody kind of fighting in each other in this crazy triangle. Echo Pulse got caught up in it. They were in the worst position of the 3 because obviously they had... Essie and Leho, they stormed in behind, but it was Aziris, wasn't it? Aziris and Nyx that pushed up on them. And then they got shot in the back by Norwegian Fish and Sithx. They spun and fought each other. It almost gave Italiano that chance to get higher in the positioning, but a single Kar98 shot from Mamu finished the job. Not, I wouldn't say any of the squads standing out crazily. Obviously, we do see a lot of kills from second place. Don't think it's enough to put them higher on the point score. It's what, 12, 15 kills to 8. So, what is it? Is it 5 or 10 points a kill? I'm not sure.
I think it's 10 points a kill. I think the only thing that I kind of want to question at the end was whether Fnif had... I didn't quite see his POV. I did see him when he went down, though. He was in the blue and he was taking bullets and he was firing back. Whether or not it would have been a better option, as it was a 4-on-1-on-1, to try and, claim victory in that second place rather than take the first, because a 1-on-4, it's nigh on impossible in this game. Whether or not he should have tried for survivability rather than trying to take another kill. Obviously, when you dealt a hand, you just got to deal with it and take what's kind of, forward-facing in front of you. But whether or not he was trying to take a look over at Mamu, because if he would have killed Mamu, he would have jumped up his team to second place. But, credit where credit's due for Mamu, 3 kills, and the kill also on Italiano, which knocked that team into 4th. That Kar 98 bullet found its target, planted it between his eyes. Cracking kill from him. I think it was about 200 meters, potentially 150. But as you say, 4, 6, what have we got? 8 kills, so it's going to be 80 points plus their 380 there. Decent work from that team.
So it's Wizards Esports Club, the first place, the Spanish team there. Second place is Breknek, a Swedish team. Third place, I believe, was the second seed, which is Klar. Yes, it was. And, of course, Echo Pulse in 4th place. To round out the top 5, Norwegian Fish. I've seen you in here somewhere. I know you are here somewhere. Where did I see you? I put myself in trouble now because I can't find them. 5th place. I'm going to find them now just before we finish. I don't know where we go next. Actually, while I'm looking, let's see where we are going next. We haven't been given a group next, Richard. We may have a choice of our own. We may have a choice of our own. I cannot see. I cannot see this damn name. Where are you, Norwegian Fish? I'm going to say he's Norwegian. I'm going to throw it out there. You know, as a put myself on the chopping block. Why can I not see the Norwegian Fish in this group? There he is. Okay, Vex Gaming. There we go. And he is Norwegian, but the rest of his team. Okay, UK. Oh, so Mango. Eri Mango. Is he in there? No. Okay, so he doesn't. Oh, he is. So there's an American in there, apparently. If we're to believe what the flags say in the ESL system, of course, which is not always the true, but a full universal squad. But that is it. So actually, this is the first time, Rich, that we've seen the top seed, albeit not like a crazy top seed like your Kinguins, not taking victory.
Which is kind of the story of this game, you know? Anything can happen. The island can be a cruel mistress now and again, and it all kind of depends what goes on. And I was speaking to some of the players, and the most... How to put this one? The smartest team when it comes to being clever and quite smart and being able to adjust. A team that can adjust super heavy rather than kind of laying on the laurels of diving into one area that they know they enjoy doing, they enjoy looting, a set routine. Sometimes set routines don't always go your way. You'll be handed a place where there'll either be not much loot or not much gear, or there'll be another team or two there. And the team that can adjust quickly enough and either back off and move to a new position, or again take the fight and win it out, which is kind of what we saw at the start of this. We saw that one team that won it stand their ground. They wanted that one. Pig, again, moving across the road with the SKS, with the 8-time scope, getting that initial kill, and then allowing his teammates to kind of flood in on the enemies. Essentially, they stood their ground, they took control of Rosshawk, and then they just rotated round. We saw them in 2 compounds, and they just went compound to compound, worked their way up the table, bang, there you go. They're not the #1 seed, but in that round, they come top of the table.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to correct myself as well. I should say Echo Pulse are very highly rated in terms of overall. They're actually not far behind Kinguin at all. If you were to look at, unofficial ratings, is probably the best way to say. Can we even say we have official ratings yet? I don't know. It's pretty early in the day, I guess. Until we start seeing proper LAN action going on.
Generally speaking, the teams that you're kind of going to want to watch out for today, there's kind of, I've rounded up. I mean, again, it's each their own opinions here. But you're going to be looking out for Envy, Kinguin, G2, FlyQuest, Dignitas, Big, AAA, which recently became AAA. Some guys will know them as the French team, which was Evolve. They are one of the best here, so we need to really keep an eye out for them. Havu we saw earlier on, Ghost Gaming, Knights, Corn Shuckers. We also have Theatre of Mayhem.
Side now,
Yeah, Theatre of Mayhem, No Loot Gaming, TPG. Quite a few teams that we need to be watching out for. And this is what we're seeing with PUBG as a whole, is that, and until we kind of saw at Gamescom, people on the floor were qualifying that we'd never seen. We saw Yuki was actually, funnily enough, on Evolve. I think he recently was removed or dropped or moved to a new team. But anything can happen, and that's what we're going to see progress as we move through these events and through the live capacity of PUBG, these new teams coming out, breaking out. And hopefully, I think I want to see that today. I want to see this team that no one's really seen much of yet, but starts just smashing some of the big names around and potentially may even qualify.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. I mean, we've still got a really long day ahead of us. So I got to keep saying it and saying it and saying it. But we're not even at 3 p.m., Rich.
Yeah.
We have 12 hours to go, and we are actually running a delay as well. So possibly later. But we'll see. We'll see. But the volumes, it appears, are much better now. So sorted that out. Apparently people complain about bitrate. I can't do a great deal about the bitrate. I got to be honest. I don't want to push the internet. My internet's been shaky as hell. Only really actually came back up at 12 o'clock. So at the moment, there's not a great deal I can do about that. I could possibly push it, but if I want to push the bitrate up, it means stopping the stream, starting over again, and with a 15-minute delay, I'm not really sure how possible that's going to be. So we'll see how it goes throughout the day. If it really becomes a big issue, we'll try and correct it in maybe the changeover between EU and NA. But anyway, Rich, we're going to take a break. When we come back, next rounds will be beginning at 4 o'clock. So that is in about an hour and 15 minutes. So we actually do get ourselves a little bit of break, and we're going to be starting off with Group 16. Let's have a look who's in Group 16. G2 Esports, my mate Fantasy, who I've and Velen in there as well. Fantasy. Now, you guys may or may not know, I've cast a lot of games in the over my years, and obviously I know him from his Call of Duty 4 Pro Mod days when he was in a top team there. So I've known Fantasy for a very long time. Actually has the most popular, I think it's safe to say. Oh, I don't know, Mazzarini maybe argue with that, but he's also obviously a player in PUBG these days. Probably one of the most popular YouTube follow-ins in terms of Call of Duty 4 videos and stuff. He used to make some very impressive videos. But they are the top squad. Also, in that, it's actually a really tasty group, because there's G2, there's
Really
Against All Authorities, and there's Big Clan in there with Huds G and Co. That is a pretty stacked group.
That's probably one of the more stacked groups out of all the rounds, to be honest. If G2, AAA, again, some people will still know them as Evolve and Big. There's a lot of names in there. Obviously, you see Daz, who used to be on Noble Esports, who's now in Big. And it's mainly out of that one. I'm really looking forward to see how AAA does. They've been dominating some of the more recent ladders and more recent online qualifiers and different events. Now we're putting them in this, where you've got G2 and Big mixed into it, along with many, many other teams out there. That's going to be a really, really spicy group and a very spicy round.
I'm looking forward to it. Let's take a well-earned break, Rich. We'll be back at 4 p.m. Central European Time. Remember, there is a 15-minute delay on this stream, so set your clocks for probably 4:15 is what I'm going to say. It's when you guys want to be tuning in. But we'll be back. Have a good night, or good day, good afternoon, whatever you're going to do. Maybe, I don't know where you are in the world. It could be morning, it could be night. You guys could be getting up at the crack of dawn on the East Coast or West Coast by now. Or you could be in Australia, about to go and have a couple of shrimps on the barbie and throw a couple of standard lines. Guys, we'll be back. See you then.